Welcome, everyone. So, I wanted to start things off today by saying thank you very much to everyone who supports this channel by subscribing and liking my videos. It's a huge help for my channel and helps get the channel to the right audience. So, thank you very much for that. A couple new things that are coming. One, I'm pretty much rebranding the channel with a new logo, which will help when I decide to branch out with merch in the near future. The second is I'm actually going to be down in Orlando starting this coming Saturday, the 20th, for about a week. I'll be at Universal Studios meeting up with a friend of mine that works for the theme park. I unfortunately won't have anything that signifies who I am or my channel in any way. But if you are subscribed to my fan page on Facebook, I will be going live for a half hour each day, kind of giving a look at the parks and what I got going on. If you do happen to join in on those live streams, great. If you're in or around the parks when I go live and want to say hi, fantastic. Otherwise, with that said, there won't be any videos until the week of the 27th, so don't be worried. I will be uploading and creating when I arrive back home. If you do want to follow the fan page on Facebook, I will have a link down in the description below. So, without further ado, welcome dreamers, fiddlers, and anyone who's ever grappled with tradition, faith, and finding their place in a changing world. This is Center Stage, where we delve into the heart and soul of Jerry Bach's iconic musical, Fiddler on the Roof. Fiddler on the Roof is a musical with music by Jerry Bach, lyrics by Sheldon Harnick, and a book by Joseph Stein. The story centers on Tevi, a milkman in the village of Anatevka, who attempts to maintain his Jewish religious and cultural traditions as outside influences encroach upon his family's lives. He must cope with the strong-willed actions of the three older daughters who wish to marry for love, and their choices of husbands are less palatable for Tevi. So Fiddler on the Roof is based on a series of stories by Sholem Aleichem between 1894 and 1914 about Jewish life in a village in Imperial Russia at the turn of the 20th century. The stories are based on Aleicham's own upbringing near modern-day Kyiv. Investors and some in the media worried that Fiddler on the Roof might be considered too Jewish to attract mainstream audiences. Other critics considered that it was too culturally sanitized, middle-brow, and superficial. For example, it basically portrays the local Russian officer as sympathetic instead of brutal and cruel, as Sholem had described him. The show found the right balance for its time, even if not entirely authentic, to become one of the first popular post-Holocaust depictions of the vanished world of Eastern European Jewish culture. Now, fun fact, the writers actually considered naming the musical Teve before landing on a title suggested by various paintings by Marc Chagall, including one titled The Fiddler. Now, the musical would open on Broadway in September of 1964 at the Imperial Theater, later transferring to the Majestic Theater and finally to the Broadway Theater in 1970, running for a combined total of 3,242 performances. The cast starred A Funny Thing Happened on the Way to the Forum's Zero Mostel, American dancer and actress Maria Karnilova, one of the Golden Girls leading ladies, Bea Arthur, Super Password's game show host, Bert Convy, and Three's Company chef Gomez Gino Conforti. The musical was nominated for 10 Tony Awards, winning 9, including Best Musical. In February of 1967, the London production would open at Her Majesty's Theatre, playing for 2,030 performances, starring Topol and Miriam Carlin. Now, the first Australian production would open in June of 1967 at Her Majesty's Theatre in Sydney, starring Hayes Gordon and Bridget Lenihan. United Artists would release a film adaptation in 1971, starring Topol. The film received mostly positive reviews from film critics, becoming the highest-grossing film of 1971. Now, the first Broadway revival would open in December of 1976 at the Winter Garden Theater, running for 176 performances and starring Zero Mostel as Tevi. And in July of 1981, a second Broadway revival would open at Lincoln Center's New York State Theater, running for a limited 53 performances and starring Herschel Bernardi and Karnalova back in the role she originated in the 1964 production. Now, Fiddler on the Roof would see its first West End revival in 1983 at the Apollo Victoria Theatre and again in 1994 at the London Palladium. November 1990 marked Broadway's third revival opening at the George Gershwin Theatre, running for 241 performances and starring Topol reprising his role from the West End's 1967 production, as well as Marcia Lewis. This production would go on to win the Tony Award for Best Musical Revival. Now, as if 3 wasn't enough, a fourth Broadway revival would open in February of 2004 at the Minskoff Theatre, running for 781 performances, and starred British actor Alfred Molina, Hairspray's Harvey Fierstein, and Randy Graff. The production would also see Andrea Martin and television personality Rosie O'Donnell step into the role of Goldie. A third London revival would open in 2007 at the Savoy Theatre, starring Royal Academy of Dramatic Art graduate Henry Goodman, Beverly Klein, Alexander Silber, and Victor McGuire. In June of 2014, to celebrate the show's 50th anniversary, a gala celebration and reunion was held at the Town Hall in New York City to benefit National Yiddish Theater Volksbühne, with appearances by many of the cast members of the various Broadway productions, as well as the 1971 film. In attendance that night were Sheldon Harnick, Chita Rivera, Karen Ziemba, Joshua Bell, and Jerry Zaks. Fiddler on the Roof wouldn't be complete until the fifth Broadway revival would open in December of 2015 at the Broadway Theatre, starring Moulin Rouge's Danny Burstein, Breaking Bad actress Jessica Hett, 2005's The Woman in White actress Alexandra Silber, The Final Rent actor Adam Cantor, The Good Wife actor Ben Rappaport, New York-based actress Samantha Massel, and winner of the 8th season of So You Think You Can Dance, Melanie Moore. Australia would also see its second revival in 2015, starring Anthony Warlow and Sigrid Thornton. Now, November 2018 would be the West End's fourth revival, opening at the Meniere Chocolate Factory, starring Andy Nyman and the voice of Disney's animated Pocahontas, Judy Kuhn. Now, fun facts. The musical would become, and did become, an international hit, with early productions playing throughout Europe, in South America, Africa, and, of course, Australia. 100 different productions were mounted in the former West Germany in the first 3 decades after the musical's premiere, and within 5 years after the collapse of the Berlin Wall, 23 productions were staged in the former East Germany, as well as becoming the longest-running musical ever seen in Tokyo. Remember, guys, to keep the conversation going on social media with #CenterStage. Share your own Fiddler moments, your interpretations of the musical's themes, and let's keep the story alive. Until next time, stay strong, stay connected, and never stop celebrating the joys and trials of family, faith, and finding your place in the world. This is Center Stage, signing off. Hey guys, thanks for tuning in to today's video. If you enjoyed this, please comment on what you liked or disliked. I'd love to hear from you. And if you want to see other videos like this, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe. And until next time, that's a wrap.